Hola, it's your girl, Melody the Goddess. Thanks for joining me this week. And today's topic is tips and tricks on how to help your symptoms with hypersexuality disorder or nymphomania, whichever one you are experiencing at the moment. So, for people that don't know, I usually look up this stuff like a week in advance and just bring you my version of it and Google's version of it. So, first I'm gonna go over Google's version, then I'm gonna give you some things that they said that were holistic, and then I'm gonna go over my version and things that I'm using in my day-to-day life. Um, and you guys let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up. For people that are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. I love you guys. And share this with a friend. So, first we're going to go over what Google said, things to help treat hypersexuality. So the first thing that popped up was a site called Mayo Clinic. That's Mayo. So Mayo Clinic was suggesting that you basically go to a therapist and take pills, right? So the pills were as follows: antidepressants, uh, Noveltrone, mood stabilizer, and anti-adrenalics. So this could be fine, I guess, for whoever would feel like they severely needed this type of treatment. I'm not a doctor by any means, but I feel like a lot of these things can be harmful. Only reason why I say that is because there are different ways that you can come about having hypersexuality disorder or nymphomania, and I'll go over that in a different video. There are a few different ways actually, but one of the ways is if you have bipolar disorder and you're taking medication, your side effect to that bipolar disorder medication could give you hypersexuality disorder. So I'm kind of eerie of pills. I'm not really big on pharmaceuticals. But if that's the way you're deciding to go with it and you already do have a therapist and you're on a regimen, I do not suggest that you come off of your regimen. I would just suggest that you incorporate these tips and tricks that I'm giving you into your daily life, and hopefully they will help you out to the point where you no longer need the medicine and on a later date. But so that's just a little disclaimer. Don't start taking your medication or seeing your therapist. Everybody's situation is different. It's no one size fits all. So these are just some things that I know anybody could do anywhere at any time, and you could just, start doing some of these things. Because antidepressants are for people that are usually depressed. So it's like, if you're depressed, then why not treat the depression? Then just give a pill. But anyways, also I wanted to say on here that hypersexuality is more common than some people may think. I was looking at this and this stat, and it was saying that this is off of Google. It was saying that an estimated 12 to 30 million people in the United States experience sexual addiction that affects both men and women. So this is something that a lot of people go through. It's not like, I know it's very taboo to talk about, but that's what I'm here for. So to kind of bring up the discussion, like, I know a lot of people that are going through this and suffering in it in silence and thinking that there's something wrong with them, but really they just been traumatized and they have a disorder and they need help. So these are some things that hopefully will help you. They've helped me personally. And also I wanted to also give out the information about what herbs you can take, because I'm a like I was mentioning earlier, I'm not into pills or anything like that. I'm a very holistic type of girl, so I do most of everything like all natural. If I can, that's what I'm opting to do, is a all natural thing. So a few different treatments that you could use that are all natural. Would be, let me just look at it right here. I wrote it down. Okay, so for women, there's an herb called Don Quail, and it's a herb that stabilizes the hormone activity, and that's spelled DONG. Quail is QUAI. So I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it. If not, correct me in the comments. And what else? There's another herb called Scontria. I know I'm jacking that up real bad. So it's spelled SCHISANDRA. This is for both men and women. Now, there's another herb that you can use. And these herbs are to stabilize the libido in the woman and man. So basically, when I say libido, that is what, creates your sex drive, to hold your sex drive. And so if it's low or high, these herbs will get it stable in the body, in both men and women, according to Google. I have not used any of these herbs. I do not know what they do personally. I haven't used any of these herbs yet. I might decide to use some of these herbs and let you guys know how they go, but that's a whole different video. So, also saw palmetto. So saw palmetto is a herb to help treat men with enlarged prostates. A lot of men that participate in a lot of sexual activity, getting head, having sex, their prostate becomes inflamed and enlarged because they're overworking it and they haven't given it enough time to rest and heal. So this might be a good herb for you if you are having discomfort and you went to the doctor and they want to prescribe you all these things you're not willing to take. You might want to go a holistic route. Or if you already take a medicine, then you might want to still take the holistic route. It might help you out. Again, I have not tried these things, so I wouldn't be able. But if anyone has tried these, if anyone has tried any of these herbs, let me know how they went for you in the comments. Tell me how did this go? So this is saw palmetto. Now the last herb I'm gonna mention is called Victus, Angus, Cactus, and it is also called monk's berry, and it's also known as chaste berry. It supposedly has a great reputation for stabilizing the crave of sex and things of that nature. So hopefully that was helpful for anyone who's able to go out and look these things up, purchase them, try them. Let me know how they affect your body. How did you enjoy it? If it was nasty, let me know. If you've already tried some of these things, let me know if they worked, if they didn't work, and why not, right? So moving right along. So now that we've gone over that, I'm going to go over my tips and tricks. So a lot of times, us as brown people, we don't go out and talk about our issues. We don't go to the therapist. We don't tell. We're not having confession. We don't go out and tell people our issues and say, you know, this really traumatized me, this really hurt me, something happened to me, or whatever, you know what I mean? And so what comes to pass is that we end up having we be having different disorders. What comes to happen is we'll have different disorders, whether it be hypersexuality disorder, bipolar disorder, OCD disorder, PSD. A lot of our people have these disorders, and we're not treating them. So we're just going around living life, and people be like, why did that person do that? Or why did they do that? Or why? And they don't understand why people are doing what they're doing. It's because they've been traumatized and they have serious issues that need to be worked on, right? And so these are some things that I didn't know. You know, me being one of these people having a disorder and not knowing what was going on with me. I didn't know what was going on with me. These are some things that naturally help me without me having to go to a therapist and get diagnosed, without me having to take any medication first and suffering from the side effects, without any of these things happening. So and if you have had any of these problems, you know, let me know in the comments, and you know, we'll talk about it. Let me know if you've had any issues with medications, doctors, or both. So these are my tips and tricks, and I hope these help you, right? So first tip that I suggest everybody do, and these are something that can help you with any addiction, but we're going to focus on hypersexuality addiction because that's what I was dealing with. So meditation is something that everybody can do. You can do it anywhere. You can do it anytime. I know it seems like, you know, something that you have to do away from everybody, which would be the best option. But sometimes you can just close your eyes and breathe. Right where you are. Right in the middle of all the bullshit. Right in the middle of all the anxiety and rush and all the craziness. You can take a minute to meditate to yourself. Right? Meditation helps clear your mind. Meditation helps stress relieving. Meditation helps with depression, anxiety. Meditation just helps with a lot of different things. So if you're feeling any of these symptoms at all, and it's making you feel like you want to be close to somebody, and you're just needing some attention and love and lust, and you want to be on somebody, then meditate to yourself. Take time to yourself. It's important for your mental health. A lot of times, depending on where we grow up and what are we used to, we used to so much noise, we're not used to the quiet. It scares us to be quiet. And we got to get out of that mindset, y'all, because everybody needs time to themselves. Okay, so moving along. The second thing I would suggest is stretching. I know this sounds like elementary stuff, baby stuff, like stretching. What? Why would I be stretching? Because a lot of times when we're dealing with we're dealing with a trigger of some sort for hypersexuality, it's like we might have been stressed out. We might have felt some anxiousness. We might have felt some loneliness. We might have felt some depression. And when you stretch your body, you know, when you're feeling any type of emotion, your body feels it too, whether you know it or not. If you're angry, your body feels tense. It feels angry. If you're sad, your body might feel limp or feel weak. Your body feels everything that you're going through. So when you stretch, you're releasing that negative energy off of your body. You're ridding yourself of any emotion that you wasn't trying to feel, and after you stretch, you're gonna feel the difference. So I would suggest that if you're feeling, you know, if you're feeling all tensed up, like, oh man, I'm about to jump, I'm about to slide on this nigga, like I'm about to, you know, feeling all antsy in your pants, just take a minute to yourself. Excuse yourself if you have to. Stretch, you know, take some time to yourself. If you got to get on the floor and hit one of these and one of the, stretch, do what you got to do, but make sure that you just, you know, release your body of any excess energy, and that will really help you out. Moving right along, speaking about excess energy. If you have energy to jump on top of somebody and do something nasty, you got energy to work out, boo. Work out. Work out. Work out. You could do it. You could do it. Work out. Even if it's only for 15 minutes a day, like working out just helps you clear your mind, just helps you be a happier person. Working out is just the bee's knees. So if you ain't on it, get on it. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Getting your body, your blood pumping, your sweat. It's like with the stretching and the working out, it's like you making love to your body. And when you making love to your own body, you don't really need as much physical attention from anybody else. Okay, cool. So if this third one could be kind of um I don't know, it could be like kind of temptational for some people. Like I said, it's not one size fits all. So if you're like on the hypersexuality disorder side, my next tip might not be as helpful for you, but if you have a little bit more self-control, then it might be very helpful for you. So the third tip is, or the fourth tip is masturbation. So masturbating, as I've expressed in other videos, is the safest sex you can have. Okay, so don't be afraid. Okay, don't be afraid to enjoy yourself. Don't be afraid to get your hands wet or whatever. Don't be afraid to basically get it in with yourself, because it's the safest sex, for one. For two, if you're doing it in a more healthy way, like say if you're used to getting it in like 3-4 times a day, and if you've worked out and you've meditated and you stretched for the day, and then later on that day you masturbate once, that's a lot more healthy than sitting around the house all day long watching porn and just playing with yourself. You got a lot more stuff done than just that. You know what I mean? So that's something that that you want to try if you feel like that would be helpful for you. If you're already doing that and it's not helping, then I would suggest to just meditate, stretch, and then the next thing, meditate, stretch, and working out. Okay, so then the next thing I would suggest is this next tip is for people who have significant others to do this with. So if you're single and you're a nympho, then this might not be as helpful for you. But if you have a boo thing that you talk to sometimes and you're close with, this might be helpful for you. So again, know where you're at so that you can apply this where you need to. So some things that might be helpful, or has been helpful for me since I'm in a relationship, is physical touches. So like physical soft touches, a kiss on the neck, or things that are just intimate touches that just make you feel good, that kind of get you like sizzling but just don't make you too hot, if that makes any sense. So I would suggest like things like that. So this is for if you're dating a nympho and you're not a nympho, what can you do to get your nympho girlfriend and boyfriend to calm the fuck down and not cheat on you? These are some like this is something that you would do. You would be like, you would kind of pet your significant other, you make them feel good without, having to jump on top of them and rock their world every hour. You know what I mean? Or you could talk dirty to them. I don't know about everybody's, I don't know how you feel about it personally, but talking dirty can be a lot, it could be helpful for your significant other, depending on where they're at. So again, know where you're at. If you know that as soon as you hear something sexual, you're going to want to do something sexual, then that could be a trigger for you, and I wouldn't suggest you to do that. So knowing your triggers is another one. Like knowing what triggers you and what doesn't trigger you. What prompts you to want to have sex and forget everything else that you've been doing today, or what wouldn't. So knowing where you're at is very important to how you're gonna take these tips and tricks. Probably should have said that first, but moving right along to the last thing. So the last one is my favorites because I'm in the process of doing this. I'm in the process of doing all of these, to be honest, but this is what my main one is leveling up in your life, coming to a better version of yourself, trying to get to that epitome of yourself. So when you're leveling up in your life and you realize like, yo, I have a goal. I have a whole goal. I have a purpose. I have to get to my purpose. When you realize that there's something that you're meant to do that's bigger than just you, then you have to move forward. You have to move forward, and you don't have a lot of time to be having sex with a lot of different random people, or even with your significant other, depending on if you're, single or taken. So when you realize like, yo, I got shit to do, I gotta get this done, when you start to level up and set goals for yourself, when you start to make goals for yourself and say, yo, this is what I plan to do, this is what I want to look like by next year or by the end of this year, then you really you cut down your time on how much time you have time for fucking and sucking and everything else. You know what I mean? You cut down that time by a lot. So those are just my tips, y'all. I don't know how many that was. I think it was like 6 or 7. I hope that you guys could use something from them, enjoy the tips, and let me know what you think. Let me know if you tried any of these tips. Let me know if you tried any of these medications, if there were any side effects. Let me know how you guys feel about the video, and if this was helpful for you or not. And next week is probably going to be on the different types of ways that you can become a nympho or have hypersexuality disorder. I have a few people that have been trying to link up with me so that they can get in on the show. So I might do that next week. I'm not quite sure, but I will let you guys know. And see you guys next time. Thank you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You can also send me a Cash App if you want to. So we appreciate you, and I love you guys, and peace.